Get that arm out. Hey, Tony, roll it.
An old crow
corner of 8
spoke to me. Busted leg, limp down the street. Said we're both tied to our own trees. Cut me loose, cut me loose. Saw the deer before it saw me.
So, San Joaquin Valley Transparency, Amendment Los Gatos Police Department, the Operations Center, Tulare County Cop Watch. And you want to introduce your channel?
Susan, I'm with Silicon Valley Transparency Project.
Silicon Valley Transparency Project. This is a new channel. I want you guys to go and subscribe. Do what we do best. Go show some support and let that channel know that we have her back. And she's going to do some audits, and she's going to also teach us some of the things that we can also do to get a little bit better. And we're also going to teach her what we do and how we do it. So it's a beautiful thing. We also have a reporter with us. His name is Steve, and we had some studio time together, and we're just all trying to learn a little bit about each other and what we all do. We have Tulare County Cop Watch here.
So they went up 36 of the 1095 on one southeast corner of the 8th floor. What's going on, sir?
Oh, not much.
Not much?
Yeah.
You have your ID?
I can't find it.
Give me your legal name so I can find you.
My legal name?
Well, okay. In California, have you ever had a
That would
driver's
be
license? Have you ever had a driver's license or an ID card?
Satan for Earth.
What?
Satan for Earth.
That's your name.
I need your name.
Or I'm going to take you to jail.
I just told you what my name is.
Satan for Earth is not a name.
Okay, Satan for Earth is kind of silly. It is kind of funny, but it's extremely silly. I know the officer doesn't like to hear what he's being told, but here's my point. Let's talk about the word patience for a little bit. Is the officer allowed to have patience with people that are not threatening? If he doesn't have a gun, if he's not running away, if his fists are not balled up coming towards you, why use excessive force? Are you not allowed to have patience? We don't have time to sit here and talk about this, but after you beat the heck out of a guy for not complying when you say you have all the time in the world to do the paperwork, listen to that logic. Think about that. It's completely wrong. American police officers absolutely do not have patience for people that have victimless crimes, but they need to find all the time in the world to do the paperwork afterwards. It should be the other way around. I think officers need to learn patience to deal with people. Try not to escalate every situation, especially if the person is not a threat. People are defiant. People are upset at cops. Let's think about that for a while. Watch the rest of the video. Thank you.
What's your birthday?
My birthday is going to occur.
Take your hat off.
Oh, my birthday is going to occur whenever you tell me it will. It hasn't occurred yet.
I need you to stop fucking around and give me your birthday, or I'm going to take you to jail. You're about to get just a citation, ask to leave the library, but if you keep this up, I'm going to book you in jail. Do you understand? Do you have understanding?
Yeah.
What's your birthday?
I can change it so.
No, give me your real birthday.
I don't have one. I swear to God.
Stand up. Stand up.
Okay, it's
stand up.
Stand up. Yes, sir. About 36, 236. Roll over your stomach. Roll over your stomach. You're gonna get tased. I'm sorry. Get on your stomach.
This video was made possible by public records request with the SB 1421 Act. It makes police records more accessible to the public. In California, we are able now to get records that they did not want us to have before.
What? You're gonna get tased! No! Get on your stomach! You're taking out! Oh! Get on your stomach! You're gonna get tased! Give me a hand! Get on your stomach. Yes, sir.
Get on your stomach!
Oh, do anything. Yes. Get on your stomach. Yes, sir. No. Give me your hands. 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 You put them on your back. Put your hands on your back now. Stop resisting. Put your hands on your back. Give me gloves. Give me gloves. Give me gloves. Wait. Sit on. What you got underneath? I don't know. Somebody glove up. I'm trying to get gloves right now. Okay.
South.
Hey, move your hand now. Wait, get off this leg. If you move. Yeah, give me it. Get that arm out. Hey, Tony, roll it in. Hey,
Southeast corner of 8.
At first, these findings were confidential. They didn't want the people to see what happened. This is why they hold investigations confidential. Officer Silva used excessive force when he used top hand twist lock to control Chong, which set a chain of events into motion that called for Silva having to use more and more excessive force and unreasonable force on Chong. Officer Silva's excessive use of force put Officer Silva, Chong, and other officers, students, and members of the public in danger. In sum, I find that Officer Silva engaged in excessive force in violation of UPD policies. So, he was let go. And just like most officers do, especially when these findings are confidential, they're going to appeal. And most of the times you find that these officers are reinstated. Come to find out, he was hired by Los Gatos Police Department. SB 1421 allowed the public to find these records, and they made it public. The next day he resigned. This is why SB 1421 is important for us in California. If your state doesn't have a similar law, you guys need to go check it out and find out why. Get the laws changed and get those public records. It's like a purge. It's time to get the bad cops out. And those good cops should be contacting us and letting us know exactly which officers to look for. Let's get the bad apples out of our police stations in America. Let's let the good officers police the streets. We pay them to do a good job. We don't mind paying tax dollars to officers if they continue to do a good job. It was recently found that in Gilroy, California, 3 officers were held as heroes, and the next report came out that the shooter was killed by a self-inflicted wound. So why are they calling the 3 officers heroes? I think an armed society is a safe society. If we're talking about the Second Amendment, we ought to be including the officers' weapons. Lower officers should not be allowed to carry guns that hurt people.
So, I want to point out, when you walk up to a police department, it's interesting to me that this is right here, this sign talks about a number of people that this building is dedicated to, and the people who were in there. The year is 2009. The mayor was Mike Wasserman, who is now a supervisor for Santa Clara County. And I noticed that this name here, Barbara Spector, I just recently saw, is now involved in private judging accounts, which means that she is an attorney. She's been on the town council for Los Gatos at least since 2009, and she is working with Hoag Fenton, which is a law firm, but she is now doing private judging, which is something that I am investigating in Silicon Valley, is private judging in the use of divorce cases. And I'm aware that Scott Seaman was the chief of police for a long period of time. People go to public meetings, and so when you're doing an audit, it's really important to start looking for names that are involved in these police, because if you have police misconduct issues, it's very important to know who's responsible for those police officers. These are the people who are in charge of keeping the police departments in check in a community. And so know who your elected officials are as well.
Wow, outstanding. Thank you.
Working code 4.5 would go probably yeah, that's what I figured. I'll go back there. He's not helping. Well, can we pull him a little bit? Yeah, pull him. All right.
Yes, I'm located at your operations center on Los Gatos Boulevard, and I'm wanting to speak with somebody about the recent resignation of Officer Silva related to the police misconduct records that came out related to SB 1421.
Unfortunately, there's not anybody here who can speak to that. The public information officer is off today, and anybody with the admin staff, they're off as well.
So does the city of Los Gatos have a police department that's open on the weekends, or is this the only facility?
We have patrol officers that are out there, but we don't have anybody who can speak to the incident that you're here about. And number one, and then number two, that incident or any questions in regards to that have been referred to the town manager's office.
So the police department itself is not answering questions about the police misconduct of Officer Silva?
Everything's been referred over to the town manager's office.
For the town of Los Gatos?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So is anybody in the police department answering questions about the hiring of police officers, or is that strictly through the town?
If it's regarding Officer Silva, it is through the town manager's office.
And what about the policies and procedures for hiring police officers in this in the town of Los Gatos?
If it's for anybody, then I would recommend you can talk to the admin staff on Monday when they return from work.
Okay, and
There's nobody currently here. On the weekends, it's just the patrol officers at work.
And who is the public information officer for the police department in Los Gatos?
Jamie Field.
I'm sorry?
Jamie Field.
F-I-E-L-D?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I very much appreciate it.
All right. And just for my records, I can let them know that you were here. Which agency are you with, or business affiliation are you with?
I'm with the Silicon Valley Transparency Project.
Okay. And your name?
My name is Susan.
Susan, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Subscribe to that channel, you guys.
Silicon Valley Transparency Project. You guys heard it? You guys go subscribe.
So this is the yard where the police officers come in and park their cars when they're going to take their patrol cars out. And this police department is in a residential area. It has a busy street in front, but it backs the residential area. And what just happened, and the reason that is so important, is because what they are saying is there was an incident of excessive force used at San Jose State University, which is a public university. And that police officer was hired in September at the Los Gatos Police Department. And instead of the police department taking responsibility for it, they are now sending that to the town manager. That means the elected officials are now being held accountable for what police officers are doing in this community. And that is something I haven't seen yet before. And so I think we're going to need to dive into that a little bit more.
Nice. Makes sense. Susan Bassey, Tulare County Cop Watch, and I, we spent the rest of the day talking to people, getting to know the community, letting them understand what's going on with SB 1421, what happened with the officer, do they feel safe? This woman Susan Bassey was talking to said that she would like to know if an officer that pulls her over, especially since she's a woman, she would like to know if she is in danger by the officer. This is why this new style of auditing, or whatever you want to call it, it's a new turn. It's a second phase, level 2, power up, whatever you want to call it. Empowering the people to hold police accountable, government officials, public servants, hold them accountable for the mistakes that they make. It's long overdue. I'm sure most of you that are watching this right now has had something happen to you, whether it's a police officer violating your rights or the DMV sending your license or registration to the wrong address, and you still have to pay the extra fines and whatnot. It's about time that we get to hold our county officials accountable, and their confidential findings need to be ready and available for the public to see. I would like to thank Tulare County Cop Watch for accompanying me out there and helping me with this story as well. Tulare County Cop Watch is also going to come out with his version of this audit. I'm going to put the link in the description to Tulare County Cop Watch's channel and video. Also subscribe to Susan Bassey. Thank you guys.